I try to accept diversity because I grew up in a diverse household. My parents were divorced, so I grew up like not knowing what was really going on, and I had two sets of parents and two Christmases, and that really kind of set me apart from a lot of my friends because I didn't get to know my dad that well. So I try to accept other people who aren't like me because I know what it's like to be different.
Considering the fact that I come from different backgrounds, I really don't have a problem with people that are different from me. Everyone in my family is different in a different way, so I don't have a problem with them.
I don't really act different from someone that's different from me, as to oppose like if someone was like very similar. I'm pretty open that way.
I think it is very unique to have people that are different from me. I think it's a great way to increase diversity and just meet others that are different from you, and I think it's just another way to see other cultures and see other
Not your life, I'd be lying.
things.
Try to learn more about them. Yeah, I don't know. It depends if I think they're cool or not.
I think diversity is needed because if we were all the same, it'd be really bland and boring. We wouldn't have a lot of culture and like different ideas, and it wouldn't shape us like how we are right now.
Off the bat, I get to know them first. I don't like to make judgments off the bat because you never really know a person before you get to know them.
I don't think I would necessarily conform to them. I would respect their beliefs and their decisions and what they think is right, but I will also have my own opinion, but that won't stop me from trying to be friends with anyone or try to stop me from pretending to be someone that I'm not, just to be a friend.
It depends if it's like killing a man, probably not. It was just like, yo, let's play sand volleyball instead of indoor volleyball. Okay. I ain't gonna rock too many waters.
No, I wouldn't. Like in high school, everyone was conservative, and I was probably like one of the only liberals there. There were probably like 1%, and I still did not conform, even though all the election stuff was happening.
It would probably depend on where I was. If it was a group such as like a friend group in a school or something like that, I'd probably just switch friend groups instead of changing who I was and just kind of stop hanging out with them and just kind of move on because there's too many people to focus on one person.
I don't think I would. I'd still accept my friend, that group of friends, but I don't think I would conform against what I like and believe.
No, because people already don't like me because I don't do that. And I feel like if you do that, then you're just gonna be like another one. Like you're not gonna stand out. You're not gonna be an individual. It's just gonna be like if we don't stand out and like disagree with things, then nothing's gonna change or get done. So
People like
No. No, I would not.
No, I would argue with those people because I believe if I believe something is correct, I will argue until, even if I do not win, I will continue my argument till the end. That's nonsense.
Okay.
At first, yeah, but then I try and understand them, and then I'm just like, oh, okay, now I get you.
At times, yes. Not with everybody, but sometimes.
Sometimes, if I think it's idiotic. If it's like I think there's a giant duck in the sky, like, okay, that opinion's kind of irrelevant. You probably are too. Or you're on drugs. I try not to, but sometimes it is hard, especially in like the political world we have today. It's hard to kind of like push past some people's views if they are extremely different than yours, but if it's more of a neutral topic, I usually try to stay as neutral as I can.
politically, yes. I'm normally like, if you're a Republican, I automatically don't like you, which I guess that's really bad because I'm like stereotyping a whole bunch of Republicans. But from my experience, normally we won't get along. It's kind of like those like zodiac signs, you know, like if you're a Gemini or a Cancer, I probably won't like you.
No, but I'll tell them why they're wrong.
but like I understand like other people can have other opinions. I mean, we go to St. Edward's.
No, I mean that's their opinion. I don't. It doesn't bother me at all.
No, not at all.
Protesting? I think it's a good way to get something going, but I find that a lot of people that protest, that's it. They think like their work's done, and instead like they don't sign any petitions, they don't try and do anything after that. They think, oh, my voice has been made, all that stuff.
I feel like some protests don't really do anything. Some protests do get the word out, do like move legislation and stuff like that, but I think it just depends on the size of the protest and the credibility behind it.
Okay. I actually had this like discussion with some dude. He was all against protesting, and I said, well, if we didn't protest, we wouldn't have women's rights. We wouldn't have like the Disability Act. We wouldn't have so many good things that are like happening to us. Like we wouldn't have a whole bunch of like different people in our country. And like if you don't protest for what you believe in, then what's the point? You're like not getting your voice heard or anything.
Okay, so protesting, it depends, because protesting, a lot of things get protested right now, and it's not always that they get anything done. And a lot of the reason it is like, the way a free market's supposed to work is that like the consumer is supposed to be able to like determine the way things work. And you have to look at like our politics a lot like that, where basically the people decide with their vote for like their representatives and stuff. And like protests will help, but you gotta have more of like a call to action than just going out and complaining.
I guess it depends what you're protesting. I think if it's for a good cause, then it can do a lot. But if it's something that people are gonna have a hard time, I guess, agreeing with, then it's not gonna affect a lot.
I believe protesting, it boosts people's morale. It gives them a sense of purpose. But in reality, nothing's usually done, and it's a waste of people's time.
Oh shit. Biggest flaw. Probably fear of confrontation. Yeah.
Indecisiveness? Who knows?
Probably my biggest flaw is that I'm very indecisive. Like sometimes I change my views, I'm very back and forth. It's very hard for me to decide because there's so many sides to every different view.
I just think sometimes I get lazy and like I'm kind of unmotivated sometimes, even though that used to be like one of my biggest perks, and it's become one of my biggest flaws. Probably.
My biggest flaw is probably my inability to speak up in times that I should.
Pretty reserved, I would say. That's the biggest flaw.
My biggest flaw is that I'm too honest, and I just feel like if it's not my way, then it's like you're wrong, which is probably part of my zodiac sign. Who knows?
Okay.
My biggest flaw is that I don't think before I do stuff.
Okay.
Probably my confidence.
Confidence, it's a gift and a curse. Sometimes it comes around and bites me pretty bad, but
I feel like, judging people too early or too often, I feel like that's my biggest flaw. I should really try not to give my opinion on to anyone.
Bitch. I don't know. That bitch. I think it's depends.
I don't know. It's. I guess it's an offensive word. I don't hear it often, like even said to other people, but it's a problem because I guess people who are overweight, that's not something like they can't control that, and so I guess the term like using like calling someone fat, it's like just it's unnecessary.
That's not. I don't like that much. I don't like it.
I think they're really sweet people. It's sad that a sexual orientation defines how you succeed in society, and I don't think it should.
I don't know. I think gay people are cool. Like,
I can't relate, but anyone can be gay. I don't care.
Something that I'm kind of against, but I am okay. Like, the idea of it is, for me, is like you choose to do it if you want. I wouldn't necessarily do it myself, but if you think that's the right thing for you to do, then
okay. I don't have a problem with abortion. I mean, because I don't have to make that choice. So it's, I guess, not my problem. Like, it's not going to be on my conscience. So, I mean, it's up to, the mother. If they're going to abort, then, like, that's their choice. Like,
no, abortion's a good thing to have. Yeah, it's like with anything. It just depends how you use it. Honestly, like, guns are a good thing to have. Not the best thing to use, depending on the scenario. It's just like one of those things people have to be adults about.
Abortion. Nothing wrong with it, unless it's like alive. And I think people, when there's not a lot of issues, like considering the fact that there's so many issues in the Middle East, and Africa, and in Southeast Asia regarding that, it's just like we have to make up our own little differences and our own little issues so that we can fight about some shit.
Check your privilege if you have it, because a lot of people don't, and I feel a lot of people that do have privilege don't understand it and don't use it in ways that they should.
I definitely feel like I do have privilege among other people, but it's something that, it's something you're born with if you're white, or if you have like a certain gender, like male privilege. There's nothing you can get away from it with.
Privilege? White privilege? Oh my god.
That's very apparent from looking back home and then coming here. It's very apparent that there is privilege.
it's not a right. It's something that you have the option to do, something that may be given to you but could be taken away.
Privilege. I think of white privilege and people that usually have money or are well off.
How do I explain this? Privilege is a word that can be used to blame things, and it is too often. Obviously, like, certain circumstances will set up certain people for like failure or success, but a lot of the time, just labeling it as labeling something as like a privilege isn't like necessarily a good thing, just because once you do that, it's like, yes, you are addressing the fact that it's there, but once you say something or someone is privileged, then everybody else who isn't can either use that as like a reason to work harder or as an excuse.
Privilege? White people privilege? I guess my opinion on privilege. would be that people who are privileged don't even know it, and I think that's the biggest issue with it. Being privileged, like, there's nothing wrong with it, but you gotta be able to give back with it. You gotta try and give a shit.
Those are two overused words around here. I would say moderate, but I'm more Republican side. Like, I think small government is the way to do things, but I don't agree with like a lot of like the conservative stances on like social issues like abortion, education.
I would say I'm pretty moderate. I'm very liberal on some things, very conservative on others. So
I'm a moderate. I consider myself more of a moderate.
Liberal. Oh God, liberal.
I don't identify.